Okay, we are live both on YouTube and Instagram. Welcome back to our daily live feed. And as always, if you would like to come work with me, suitsandposing.com is where you have to go. We do hair, makeup, suits, and posing, all of the fun stuff when it comes to competing. And as always, I'm going to give it a few minutes for you guys to get logged on. Grabbing my water. Need it. Welcome, you guys. Welcome. So I was not on live last night. And the reason for that was because I was editing my YouTube video from the Clash weekend. Hello from Louisiana. I'm here. I'm in the shower, so I might be quiet. Okay. Hello. Yes, I'm getting lean. I'm getting there little by little, inch by inch. Yep. So I didn't go on live last night because I wanted to get that YouTube video edited from all of my footage from Clash weekend. So that is up on the YouTube channel now. That went live earlier today. So you're welcome to go check that out. Take a look, comment, let me know what you think. Let me know more stuff that you'd like to see when it comes to me actually recording things when I'm at shows. I'm at shows, 3 weekends a month on average. So just give me some stuff that you'd like to see. Okay, so that's not a question for this evening, but you can DM me that question. Okay. See the back shreds. My back is the first thing to lean out. Yeah, the back shreds is the first thing. I have my back gets super lean. So that is one reason why I definitely have to have my hair down, and I definitely have to have extensions. I took my extensions out this weekend, so I'm going to put them back in probably this coming weekend. Give my head a break for a minute. I love the background commentary in the YouTube video. Good. I'm glad you like that. So that's essentially how I'm going to do those kind of behind the scenes videos, give you guys some looks and then do the voiceover and let you know what I think. So what's up? I love the new YouTube video. Good. So yeah, that's kind of the direction we're going to go with that. Obviously as I do this more, I'll get more comfortable with doing it and I'll get more and better footage, hopefully. So hopefully this was good. I'd like to fix a few things already. I see like the lighting and stuff like that. So definitely be working on making sure those are good. But I was happy with it for the first time. So yeah, make sure you comment. Let's get the show deets. Yes, so definitely. And I'll be giving you some of the stuff that I'm going to be preparing for myself personally and all of that kind of thing too. So welcome, you guys. And then tonight we are going to wrap up Golden State. That was the show this weekend. I did watch the live stream, so I did see the live stream. Of course, I should go back and actually watch it on my computer, so it's big, but I just watched it on my phone while I was at the gym. Fashion Nova. You can pretty much guarantee almost everything that I wear is from Fashion Nova because it's cute and it's cheap. So Fashion Nova right here. Let me pull up. Hold on, pictures up. There we go. Okay. All right. So I got our pictures up from this past weekend. So I did watch, like I said, the live stream, and it was a good show. There was a lot of girls, and they did prejudging and finals right back to back. So they did their routines, and they did comparisons, and they went off stage, and they came back and did routines, and then they did the confirmation round, and they did awards. So I love Fashion Nova too. Me too. That's my jam. It's cheap and it's cute. So there was a few surprises in this particular show. Some good, some not so good. The biggest one that I'm going to talk about, I'm going to actually go from, that's the wrong show. I pulled the wrong show up. I was like, wait, Lana's not 7th. Hold on. I got the wrong show up. Hold on. There we go. Now I got the right show up. Okay. So the biggest surprise for me, newly obsessed with Fashion Nova. I'm shocked at how nice the stuff is too. Yeah, it's really good. It's really good quality and it's cheap. I mean, I love Fashion Nova. I do. So the one I was most shocked about is 6th place, and that's where we're going to start for today, and that's Ariel. So if you guys remember, actually, let me pull up. I can't remember where I wrote it. Here it is. If you guys remember my predictions, I had Ariel in the 1st place spot because I assumed going into this would be a favorite to win for Ashley, but I put Ariel in there because I always like to root for the underdog. I always like to root for somebody who is not actually qualified for the Olympia, that kind of thing. So that's who I chose for my 1st place position, and she actually ended up in 6th. Initially, she was in the top 5, and then she got moved out into the 6th place position. She was very, very soft. It was very shocking to me when I saw her walk on stage. I'm not sure exactly what happened. She does get critiqued. I know I've talked to her about other shows where they've told her she needs to be a little bit tighter, that kind of thing, but not so much. She almost looked like she was, 6 weeks out, that kind of thing. Like, that's what she looked like. So I'm not sure what happened. I don't know what happened here in this particular look because she has a phenomenal look. Like I've said before, I love her look. I think she looks amazing as far as her shape and her overall presence and everything. But her conditioning was really, really off at this show. And I'm not sure what happened. I don't know if maybe she's just tired. I was thinking about this as far as her body just might need a break. Last year was her 1st year as a pro. She went straight from an NPC win to pro card win to pro show where she took like 2nd or 3rd or something like that, and then pro card win, and then wins the Olympia. So she's had a couple of months like in between, but I don't think she's had a real off season. So maybe her body is just tired and maybe she just needs to actually take a break or something like that. But this to me looked like somebody who needed some more time to diet, which doesn't really make a whole lot of sense because she just competed like a month ago, like less than that, I think. Whenever it was that she was at, or it was a little bit longer than a month ago. It was Legends in February. So I don't know, 2 months ago maybe. So maybe she just needs a break. I don't know. Maybe she just needs a break. But yeah, that was the surprise of the show for me. That was the biggest surprise of the show for me because I did have her initially fighting for 1st place. So I'd like to see what she does next. Maybe she's going to take some time off. That would probably be my suggestion. Not knowing the background here, she may just need a break, or maybe she just kind of crashed into this show too. That could be a possibility. Maybe she does actually need some more time to diet. That could be part of it. I don't know, but she needs to fix the conditioning part because her overall look is amazing. Like she's got an amazing look. Like I've said before, I love her look. So I just like to see her bring that conditioning back. So anyway, she was in 6th. And we're going to move up to Adair, who took 5th. So initially, Adair was not in the 1st call out. She was in the 2nd call out. So like I said, Ariel was in the 1st call out. She was in the top 5. The 1st call out had 5 girls. Ashley was right in the center. First call out was 5, and they realized after turning them a bit that maybe they missed somebody from that 2nd call out. So they brought Ariel into that 2nd call out too. I can't remember how they did it. They might have done. I think they took her down into 2nd call out is what they did. They took the top 5. I don't know. I forget what they did. But anyway, they moved her. I was watching. They moved her. That's all I know. So they did move her down next to Adair, who did end up then leapfrogging over her. So looking at Adair, this was a good look for Adair. The DC Pro-Am? No, not DC Pro-Am. Ben Weeder. The Ben Weeder, where she placed 2nd, I think. 2nd. She was really lean at that particular show. I was here in person. She was very, very lean. I actually thought she had the better shape of the 2 in the top 2, but she was too lean at that particular show. This show, she definitely filled out. At this show. I can see her still needing a little bit more pop to her glutes, basically, but this was a much better look overall than the last time that I had seen her on stage. I think she competed one other time in between there, and I don't remember exactly what it was, but I think there was one other show in there. It was Toronto. She competed in the following week. But she needs just a little bit more glute, I think, like just that overall pop to the glute from the back. I think from the front, she actually looks really, really good from the front. I think it's just that back shot where she needs a little bit more. Let me pull up her front shot here again. Yeah, from the front, I think she looks really good. She could use a little bit more shoulder, a little bit more shoulder cap to balance her from top to bottom because her glutes are a little bit overpowering in the front pose, so she needs a little bit more pop in that shoulder. But overall, I think her front pose is pretty good. She does need to, with her suit top, I think with her suit top, I would probably do a smaller connector just to pull them in a little bit. It looks a little bit wide, and I'm seeing a little bit of under boob. So that just could be a scenario of she needs to pull the top pieces in a little bit more to cover that up a little bit more. But what I would say is just a little bit more pop on like the top of her glutes, depth of her glutes from the back, and then the same thing with her shoulders from the front. From the front, her glutes look great. But from the front, she needs some more shoulders. But overall, like I said, much better look than what I saw at the Ben Weeder this past fall. So really good job there. And she did end up in 5th place here. So let me go to Vanya. So Vanya was in 4th. This was an improved look for Vanya as well, I believe, from last time that I saw her, which was Legends. So Legends, she had a really hard time with that, getting the glutes in shape. I think she mentioned that she was on her cycle. I think she told me that. I can't remember exactly. There's so many shows that these girls have done. I think that's what she said to me. I could be wrong. But yeah, I thought Vanya looked great here. This was a much more streamlined look for her. She still, when it comes to comparing her to the other top 4 there, she still needs to be a little bit tighter in the glutes in the back. I think this was her best look so far, to be perfectly honest with you. Like her waistline was really tight. She looked very streamlined from the front, very well balanced. But from the back, she just still needs to be a touch tighter in those glutes, just a touch tighter in those glutes. I really liked this suit look on her as well. It's like that pink purple color. That's becoming pretty popular. I've done a few suits like that, and it's actually it pops a lot on stage. And specifically on her skin tone, it looks really, really good. So I think that from the front, she looks great. I think this is probably her best look that I've seen from the front. From the back, she just needs to be a little bit tighter. Still needs to be just a little bit tighter through the hamstring tie in there. Not much, just a little. Because for her, this is tight. This is good for her. But when you put her next to somebody like Ashley or something like that, that's where you see the weakness. I'd also like to see her kind of brush through those curls in her hair too. The curls, the shape of her hair looks really good. I just like to see her break up the curls a little bit from the back. Oh my gosh, I'm back. So I can hear your voice. Oh, yes, I'm here. Welcome back. So overall, like I said, this was a very good look for Vanya. I think she was appropriately placed. I do think that it was a battle between her and Lana for the 3rd and 4th place. I would like to see what the scorecards, as far as how many points they were away from each other, because I think it was between the two of them when it came to, 3rd and 4th, that kind of thing. Now, brush through curls is my personal pet peeve. I feel like a lot of girls have that way, though. Yeah, it's a catch-22, and because a lot of times when you brush through them, they become messy and they drop. So there's that, and I would rather see the tight curls than see it messy and drop and droop. What I tell girls when I do hair for girls in the morning, right? When I do hair for girls before they go to the show, if I'm doing curls, I do them tight, and I tell the girls to say, listen, before you go on stage, just run your fingers through to break them up and loosen them up and just give yourself a little bit of tousle look so it's a little bit wavy versus those tight curls. 9 times out of 10, girls forget to do that. 9 times out of 10, they forget to do that. And it's one of those catch-22s for a hairstylist as well, because I don't want to brush through her curls, because if I do that, they're going to fall out before she even gets on stage. So it's like she needs to be able to be aware that she needs to brush through her curls before she goes on stage, just with her fingers. Just run her fingers through, right? Let the curls sit, then brush them out. Yes, see, there you go. Exactly. See, you know the deal. That's exactly right. So at least brush the fingers through, if not a full-on brush. Just depends on what kind of look you're going for. But that's exactly correct. I try to make them so that they set in the morning, and then by the time you get to stage, then you can brush them through, and then they're nice and tousled, and they look still clean and all of that too. Sometimes they brush out, they become too poofy and hide the shoulders. Yeah, but that's why you use your finger brushing. So again, this is why it depends on the girl. Like if you go and you just run your fingers through, it's going to just break the curls up versus making them poofy, right? So, and you're right, it depends on the girl's hair texture. And usually what I'll tell the girl one thing or the other in the morning. Most of the time, it's finger brushing. That's most of the time. So, especially when you're depending on the climate too, that'll determine it as well. Like if you are in a humid climate, I don't want you touching your hair because it's just gonna go like that, you know, if it's a humid climate. So, which happens a lot in Florida. Happens a lot in Florida where you see these hairstyles go crazy, right? So it really depends on the girl, depends on the hairstyle, depends on the texture, all of those kinds of things. But those are the things that I tell girls to do. And like I said, 9 times out of 10, they forget. So at the end of the day, I would rather see tight curls than messy curls. That's what I'd rather see. So it is what it is. It's fine. So anyway, moving up to Lana. So this was a much improved look for Lana versus the week before. And she fixed all of those little things. Now, if you remember on our preview and on our wrap up from last week, I mentioned a few things. She looked a little flat, that she needed to pop her tan, and she needed to fix a few posing things, right? So I still see a few things with her posing that I personally would probably tweak, but I thought this was better. And then she definitely filled out, and her tan was definitely a whole lot better. And just those couple of little things, when you put them together, makes a much, much better package. And this was obvious here. Now, I would say she still needs some more upper and outer glute. I would say she still needs to be just a touch tighter through those hamstrings. Same thing as I said with Vanya. Like I said, I really think they were really comparing the two of them for those third and fourth place spots. And Lana was just a touch tighter than Vanya was. So I think that's why she took the third place spot versus fourth. But as you can see, with just these few teeny tiny tweaks, she went from 7th place all the way up to 3rd in a week, you know, and it was tanning, posing, and filling out. That was it. That's all that she had to change. So sometimes this really is just about nailing your show day look, right? So she did a phenomenal job here. She looked really, really good. Now she's one where her curls are tight, but they're bigger, more barrel curls. So I'm okay with her hair like this, right? So again, we were just talking about Vanya. I'd like to see her break her curls up. These curls I'm actually okay with because they are bigger, more barreled curls, and probably if she brushed through them, they would become poofy, right? So I'm okay with her hair being like this. It was a clean look. It was put together. I think she did a really good job here. And I think that it's just a matter of her kind of growing a little bit more through the glutes and things to get her up into those first place position. When you're going up against somebody like Ashley Kaltwasser, who arguably has the best glutes in the game, it's hard to beat that. It's just hard to beat that regardless of how you put yourself together. It's really hard to beat Ashley's glutes. It just really is. But great job here by Lana. Really, really great job. Especially that turnaround from last week, right? Lucia. Okay. So Lucia did a lot of things the same that we talked about. Like there were things she needed to fix from Clash. She fixed them here, right? She fixed her front pose much better. Her shoulders filled out much better. Her makeup look much better. If you remember, I mentioned last week, she looked like she had no lips. She has lips at this particular show. I actually noticed that when she posted that on her Instagram, her show day look with her makeup. I was like, oh, she's got lips. I was so happy. So something so simple, right? Like it just makes a difference in her face. Overall, it makes her look more healthy. It makes her look more youthful just because of the way that they did her makeup. Her hair is better too. It's up off of her face. It's got a little bit of volume, a little bit of bounce to it. That's much better. Her overall look here, like presentation, everything was a whole lot better. So, you know, again, I would still like to see some lowlights in there. I still think she's a little bit too bleached. Throw some lowlights in there, pull it down. Like she's got a few lowlights up towards the top of her head. She needs to pull those down into the rest of her hair. But much better. Now, I think where she missed as far as not being able to jump over Ashley is in her glutes. Glutes do look better this week. They do look better than what they did in Clash. They're a little bit fuller. She's still got that sharp hamstring, almost like a diamond into her legs, right? So she just needs to fill that out a little bit more. But the problem is that if she goes too full, like she's going to be too bottom heavy, you know. So it's a fine balance. And I think she could probably use a little bit more size up on the top of her glutes, and then she needs to bring her legs down a little bit. Maybe play with the back pose a little. It does have her toes out slightly on her back pose. Maybe if she brought them in just a little bit, that might help her to bring her legs down a little bit, which would help her to fill out her glutes a little bit more. Play with those things a little bit, just see where we can get the pop. But, to be honest with you, this was a much better look, and it's going to be very difficult in general to beat Ashley Kaltwasser from behind. It just is. When I look at Lucia from the front, I think that Lucia had a fantastic front look. I think she's really well balanced. Her conditioning is on. She's got a really nice V taper, nice full shoulders, nice roundness through the legs and through the glutes. She probably could stand up a little bit straighter. I feel like she's a little bit bent through the waistline. She needs to stand up a little straighter. But overall, it's a really well balanced look from the front. It's from the back that's hard to beat Ashley. It's just hard. I think Lucia's going to win a show for sure soon. She looks great this past week. Well, Lucia's won shows in the past. That's not new for her. But the problem is she's been so inconsistent. Like I've mentioned before, her look changes in every show she goes to. This is the first time we've seen a similar look from one show to another. She just made it better, right? Her look at Clash was the same as her look here. She just made it better, meaning her tan was the same, her suit's the same. She got a bigger bottom, or I'm sorry, more coverage at the bottom, right? Let me look at her bottom. Where's your bottom? Yeah, more coverage in the bottom. Yep, that's what we needed. So she doesn't see that tailbone from the back. But same suit color, same hair look, but just a little bit better polish. Same thing with the makeup, just a little bit better makeup. But she didn't completely change her entire look, which she typically does. It's like I can't even tell you how many different hair colors, suit colors, poses, and things like that she's done. And it makes it really hard to get better when you're that inconsistent with your look. Keep your look the same and just make it a little bit better each week, right? A little bit better and a little bit better and a little bit better. That's all she's got to do. She's just got to get a little bit better the next time she gets on stage. Keep everything the same and just get a little bit better, right? Take your feedback, get a little bit better. That's it. That's the name of the game. Once you find a suit that works, a look that works, keep it and just refine it and get better each week, right? So now she's got a look that works. And now she's just got to keep riding that, ride until, I tell people all the time, once you have a look that works, ride until the wheels fall off. Keep going. Same exact thing over and over and over again. And just take your feedback and apply it. And take your feedback and apply it. That's it. That's all she's got to do. So she will win a show. She's done it before. She'll do it again. Just a matter of when. And last but not least, we have Ashley Kaltwasser, who did win this show. I think this is number 32, if I'm not mistaken. Let me explain this. Thank you. So Ashley, now she's one that did change her look this show with the color on the suit. With that, Ashley has been competing forever, and she's done two colors her entire career. She's done green and she's done red her entire career, and they've all been similar cuts, all of that kind of thing. She makes little tiny tweaks like we just talked about. She found a look that worked for her, and she worked it, and she worked it, and she worked it, right? So she has a new colored suit here this time. Would judges be giving that type of feedback? Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Judges would give that feedback. So this suit is a little bit of a combo. It's a green and blue. And yes, the judges give that hair makeup feedback. Absolutely. 100% they do. Yes. So this suit is more of it looks like the suit fabric is blue and the crystals are green, maybe. Or it's like an ombre design. That's what it looks like. Yeah, it's the earth suit, right? So I did hear that, yes. I liked this color on her. I'm a big fan of blues in general. On most people, like they really pop. So this was a combo of that blue that works for pretty much everybody. And then she added some of her signature green in there. I personally have always liked her in the green suit. I thought that was her look. That was Ashley Kaltwasser. You know what I mean? So this is kind of going back to, what she had before in the past. I'm still not sold on her front pose. I don't know if she's talked about it or not, but her front pose is still what's the weakness for me. Her back pose is so hard to beat. Her back pose is so hard to beat. Her glutes are so hard to beat. I love her hairstyle in this particular show. I think the soft waves are nice. This is what we were just talking about curls. This is what can happen when you've got curls and you brush them out and they look like soft waves. This looks really pretty and polished and put together. Those look really, really nice on her. Her glutes are so hard to beat. Her glutes are just so hard to beat. They really are. I like Ashley is experimenting and having more fun with her suits. I love her own suit that was an almost shirt coach's team colors. Yeah. So as soon as Ashley walked on stage and hit her back pose, like when they were doing the initial comparisons, I was like, oh, she won the show. Like immediately, I was like, she's the winner because of her back shot. So it's just so strong. It's very, very hard to beat. It's very, very hard to beat. So even when she's a little bit off from the front, it doesn't matter because she's so strong from the back, right? So her front pose, again, I just feel like she's almost doing a little bit of a vacuum almost. She's sucked into that rib cage, and I'm just not a fan of that. But obviously that didn't make that much of a difference because she won the show again. And I agree with that too. Like I said, as soon as she walked out for those initial comparisons, I was like, oh, there we go. There's another win. Like immediately. Yeah, the Ashley glutes are next level. They are. And it's just really hard to beat, so like I said, even when I feel like her front pose is off, which I do. I feel like her front pose is off in this particular show. Even when I feel like her front pose is off, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. She still wins from the back. So that's going to always be the crutch, you guys. If you want to beat Ashley, you got to beat her from the back. You got to beat her from the back. That's it. If you can't do that, she's going to beat you. That's it. Yeah, I thought Lucia had her beat from the front, but absolutely her glutes are incredible. Yep. I'm not a fan of Ashley's posing, personally. That's not my thing. I think she looks a little awkward and goofy when she poses. And I think she's actually said that herself, that posing is just not her strong suit. That's why she doesn't do the walk to the back. That's why she doesn't do anything fancy. She keeps it simple. I think she's gotten a whole lot better in the last year. Where she was at Clash last year was really not good. Even she said that was like her worst presentation was bad. And then she got better throughout the year. Her walk has gotten a whole lot better. I will give her props in that regard. Her posing has absolutely improved. I still think she's a little bit awkward. I'm still not a huge fan of her posing, but she doesn't do anything stupid in her posing either. She doesn't do anything that's going to detract from her physique in her posing either. That's just kind of her. That's just kind of how she poses. It is what it is. And it's not bad. It's just her vibe and the way that she is. And it works for her. So, okay, go for it. You know what I mean? Like, I personally wouldn't pose like that, but it works. So who am I to judge? Right? So, and I did explain what's off from her front pose. So go back and watch that again, because I did actually mention what's wrong with her front pose. So, yeah. So, like I said, it was an easy win. It just was. So as soon as she walked on stage, it was hers. And like I said, the biggest shock of the show was Ariel. The one that really bumped up a lot in comparison to where I thought she was going to be was oh my God, Lana. Lana bumped up. More amateurs, even pros, I think maybe need to get that. If posing isn't your strong suit, don't do anything crazy and just present your physique. That's right. That's what I'm saying. That's exactly what Ashley does. Posing is not her strength. And I think she pretty much knows that. So she doesn't do anything stupid. She doesn't do anything crazy. She just goes out, presents herself, and gets off stage. And that's all she has to do. Her physique is that good that that's all she has to do. She doesn't have to do anything crazy, right? Nobody has to do anything real crazy, to be perfectly honest with you. The judges have seen it all. You're not going to shock them. You're not going to show them something they haven't seen before. So get out there, present what you have confidently, and get off stage. That's it. And that's what Ashley over the last year has really done well, has perfected, is not screwing up by trying to do too much. When you try to do too much, you screw up. right? So she's done a good job of that. I'm gonna hand it to her because, like I said, I mean, even though I'm not a fan of her posing, that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. She comes out and she presents what she has built, and that is all she has to do. Right? So yeah, I liked this look on her overall. I still, like I said, the one thing I would fix on her is that front pose. I know she's gotten critiqued in the past about her abs being too blocky, like too crispy, and now I think she's gone the opposite direction with it. So I think she needs to add some more definition back in there. It's almost washed out now. So I would add a little bit more ab depth in there. That would probably help with that front pose, but she just needs to twist it a little bit more. She's just too straight on. And that is Golden State. So, overall it was a good show. It was a really good show. And it's one of those things where when you're watching, you can just see it. You can just tell who's going to win and who's going to be in third or fourth or whatever. You know what I mean? I really think that the battle this particular show was for third and fourth with Lana and Vanya. Those were the two that they were really determining between the two the whole time. So this coming weekend we have 2 shows. So we will preview those tomorrow. We have Wasatch, and we have Charlotte Cup this coming weekend. So we'll go ahead and preview those tomorrow. These shows are getting big, you guys. They're getting tough. There is no easy pro show ever. There is no easy pro show ever. Even when the numbers are smaller, it doesn't matter. All it takes is one person to show up that looks phenomenal, and it's game over, right? So this coming weekend is going to be a barn burner. I can tell already, and we'll go through that tomorrow. Now, if you're on my live feed right now and you're one of my sponsored athletes, as soon as we hang up here, we are going into our Facebook group. So remember that. So just look out for that when we hang up here. If you are not one of my sponsored athletes, we have a new YouTube video up that went up this afternoon. So if you haven't watched that, go check it out. It is our new series, which is Bikini Girl in a Bodybuilding World, which is basically going to be covering me and what I do and what goes on at the shows when I'm at a show. So this is when I'm actually there in person. Because I do go to shows, every 2 weeks or so. I've got shows, 3 weekends out of every month, that kind of thing. So I plan on getting footage and putting them up in these little short YouTube videos for you guys each week. So if you haven't seen the one yet from the Clash, that's the one that went up today. Love these wrap ups. Thanks for doing them. We'll be attending Charlotte Cup this weekend. I will not be attending Charlotte Cup. I will be home. It is Easter weekend, so I am home this weekend, but I will be getting on as many live streams as I can. I've got clients all weekend too, but I'll be here and pay attention to what's going on down there, and that's it. So I will be back on tomorrow night, and we'll preview the 2 shows this coming weekend as well. So, any questions, you guys? I'll leave it open for a minute. See if there's any questions, and then like I said, once we finish up here, sponsored girls, we're going in our Facebook group. Yes, go watch that new series. Let me know what you think. Let me know what stuff you want me to record on that shows, all of that. Yay, I'll see you Saturday. Awesome. The new series is on our YouTube channel. So if you're not subscribed to our YouTube channel already, please do that. There's a link in our bio. That'll take you over to the channel itself, and you can check out the new release from today. If you're on my stories and stuff too, I did put a link to the actual video in my stories too. I don't have a problem with linked heels. Oh, how many weeks out from my show? I'm not telling people. Nobody knows yet. I'm not sure you're talking about with whose bottoms being too small, but nobody's bottoms were too small. Yeah, I'm not telling people my show yet. Nope. You'll find out when I get on stage. Oh goodness. All right, you guys, I'm gonna let y'all go for this evening. Show secret the torture. I know, right? Yeah, no. Y'all will know, and y'all need to know. That's all that matters. Yes. I'm excited too. Don't get me wrong, I'm excited too. But you guys will know when it's time to know. All right, you guys, I'm gonna let y'all go. And then, like I said, if you are one of my sponsored girls, give me a minute. I'm gonna jump into the Facebook group and go live over there. Okay. All right. So we're gonna end out on YouTube first. There we go. And